Alright guys, welcome back to another Roblox Studio tutorial. Today I will be explaining remote events. These things are pretty simple. It's a bit intimidating, but it's easy to figure out. So first, let's take a look at events. So let's just organize this all by making a folder, call it events, and put in a remote event here. So if we have, let's rename this to example remote event. This remote events pretty much just help you go from a local script to a server script. So if, for example, we have a button right here, like send to server, we'll say that's going to be the text here. So if we have this button here and we want to make it so that the server knows whenever it's clicked, because right now we can only put a local script in it. Server scripts, like regular scripts, they don't work in GUIs because it's local. So we're going to have to send the data from the local script to the server. How you do that? You do that with remote events. So basically, remote events are simple, okay? You'll come here and we'll say, okay, well, if the button's pressed, so that's going to be script.parent.mousebutton1 click, and we'll connect the function to it. So that means whenever the button's pressed, it's going to run whatever code we put in. And it's pretty simple. If you want to go from local script to server script, you have to do game. You're going to have to go to the event, which would be, in this case, game.replicatestorage.events.example remote event. And you put a colon and you do fire server. That's if you're firing from the client side. If you want to fire from the server side, we'll take this new script here. We'll just put remote event thing. Oopsies. There we go. Alright. If we come here and we want to fire the client instead of the client to the server, we want to send a message from the server to the client. It's simple. We'll come here and we'll do game.replicatestorage.events.example remote event. So we're just going to the example remote event. So you go to your remote event wherever it is. In this case, it's in my events folder in replicate storage. Alright, so you put in colon and you put fire client, and it'll just fire the client. Now we're gonna do, let's figure out how receiving works. So for receiving, we'll put here, we'll say, well, whenever this button's clicked, we want the server to print something. We want the server to print something in the console down here. So what we'll do is we'll say, okay, what do we want the server to print? So we'll put in quotes, we'll put our message. Our message is local button was clicked. So now, whenever this button's clicked, the local script, it will come over to the remote event here. It will give it this message. And then this remote event script will come here to the remote event we have, and it will pick up the message that our local script left. So now our message has gone from the local script to the remote event. And to get it to the remote event script, we have to come here and we have to put in receiving code. To do that, we're just going to go to our remote event and we're going to do dot on server event. And you have to connect, you have to put colon connect, and then you gotta put in your function. And for your function, you can put the message variable right in here. You put your variables that get carried through right here. So in this case, our message gets sent to here and sent to here, and this is what our message is going to be represented as in relation to variable. So now that's turned into a variable on the server side, we just need to make it print the message. So we'll just do print message. So now if I hit play, and ooh, we got an error. That's not good. Argument 1 missing right now. Uh-oh. So right here it's saying we are not sending everything we need to. Oh. Alright, so this happens because whenever you want to fire the client, you have to specify the client you want to fire. So if you want to fire a specific client, you use fire client, and you just put in the player instance. So that would be like game.players find first child super fat granny, which would be my username. So it would only send the server message to me. If you want it to fire all the clients, you just change it from fire clients to fire all clients. And now if we run it, there won't be an error because it wants to just fire all of the clients. See? Now if we click the button, see? Look at that. Printed the message. But the message, you may realize, was not my username, which is a bit confusing. And that's because I made one simple mistake. Whenever you connect a function to a server event, there's not only the variable you sent through, but the first variable is the player who sent the message through the remote event. So that means that this code right here, the text from here, whenever this script fires the remote event, this script picks up both the player that this script was from and the message that this script sent through. Right? So now that that's fixed, we can just come here and we can click the button. There we go, now it's saying it correctly. Alright, so now we want to do something whenever we fire the client. So what if we move this code here and we make it so that whenever you press the button, maybe we want the button's color to change to green. So we'll just do this, and we'll just move that line here. So we're going to go to the event, and we're going to fire all clients. And what are we going to send through? We are going to send through a color 3 new, and it's RGB, so we'll make the button green now. So we'll do that, right? So now this script is going to send a message to the remote event. The remote event is going to give that message to the remote event script, server script, and then the server script is going to print the message that it received, and it's going to say, well, let's change the local button color to green. So it's going to come here, and it's going to send the color to the remote event, and the remote event is going to send it to the local script. Now for the local script to pick it up, it's pretty much the same as with the server script. So we'll just come here, we'll go to the remote event, and we'll do on client event instead of on server event. And we're going to put a function call, and we're going to put color as our variable that gets carried through. And now we just need to make it change the color of the button. Pretty simple. So we'll come here and we'll just change the button's color. So we're going to do whatever. So let's trace this now. The local script sends the message to the remote event. The remote event sends the message to the server script. The server script prints the message in the output bar, and then it sends a color back through the remote event, and the remote event sends that to the local script. And now the local script is going to set the color of the button. So to do that, it's pretty simple. Let's do script.parent.color background color, and we're going to set it to color. Right. So now, whenever we click the button, it's going to print the message. But wait, hold on a second. Didn't send it back. We send this color3.new. Come here, script.parent.background color3 equals color. Interesting. Alright, so actually, instead of having it change the color, we are going to instead just get rid of the button entirely. So instead of saying through color, we'll send through false. So instead of receiving a color, we're going to receive visibility. And we're going to change script.parent.visible. And we're going to set that to visibility, which the server script is setting to false. So that'll make the button disappear. So if we just come here and click the button, the button didn't run. Interesting. That's a simple mistake. God, just put in... Oh, get off test mode first. Alright, so we just gotta come here and change this to :connect. And now, click send to server. There we go, now it's gone. Okay, so pretty much it just comes here. Button gets pressed. So the local script detects that the button has been pressed, and it sends a message to the remote event, which sends a message to the server script, which prints the message and then sends a value through the event to the local script, which sets the button's visibility to that value, which is false.